Thanks, Pete. Okay, Mauricio. Mauricio. Oh, thanks, Jordan, says Sean and Chris. And me, too. Thanks so much, man. I know it can be scary to, like, show your stuff in front of a crowd of your peers, so good on ya. So Matt says, first one's good, but it's a mellow choice. We'll do bang off the top. Oh, yo, do second first. Ah, yeah, okay. I'm down. Totally down. Yeah, if you tighten it up, then it'll be a lot better. Like I was saying, that first 10 seconds, right? Okay. So, Mauricio is actually a fellow who's currently in Vancouver. I've met a few times. Let's have a look. Look at this page. This is nice. These shapes. It's like mini metro back here. Okay. This is really cool, actually. I like this a lot. This is sweet. Distinction is up there. So, we have got home, portfolio, different stuff too. Oh yeah, what's up? About me, contact, blog. So, about me, is that just not this part? Oh, some more about me. Okay. So this is great. So like you were saying in the previous reel, with Jordan there, is like, if people are interested, they will dig deeper. You know, just don't feel like you need to shove it in their face. They will totally dig deeper on their own. So, like this, I said, oh, isn't he about right here? But he says right there, he's like, hey, if you're here, you probably want to know more, so here you go. It's awesome. Contact, blog, look out. Is it up to date? VR, audio carts, and sort of 4. There's like plenty of stuff here, man. Holy, the author. If you're in this, who the hell I am? I'm sensing a trend here. There's a theme. My portfolio, back to here again. Okay, cool. Great. All right. Hey, what's up, Dan? Good to see you, man. About, we saw this. We're going to carry on. Portfolio, sound design, discography, recording, mixing. It's legit, man. I can't pronounce the majority of this, probably. We'll see. I'm going to butcher some stuff. We'll see here. Okay, so let's do it. The reel. And now, of course, we have Matt Martinson in the room, Matt-esque, who is often here with me helping out with Real Talk. He had to do his Clay Entertainment stream briefly as well. So he's here now to help out with Mauricio. I'm at full volume, right? Yes, okay. And I'll go full screen here. We'll crank it here. The Witcher 3 settings, we good? We're good. Okay, let's do it. Matt says add more ambience. Probably. We'll find out. We'll find out. And I'll kill my mic here. Here we go. Hey, thanks a lot, Senor Zerg. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate your input and your presence. Really appreciate that. Okay, so first off, boom. Look at this time, 1:08, killer. All right, so again, we'll flash our criteria here. We're gonna look at a few things. First off, presentation. I'm sure Matt will tell you what he thinks. Oh, there it is, right length. Yes, correct. 1:08 is a great length for a reel. Really good. Presentation. This is nice. I always like the contact info being here as well, but it's not a big deal. The general philosophy being that if someone wants to contact you, you should make it as easy as possible. So here is the end, if you like to visit here. Like, that's definitely helpful, but it causes a bunch of click-through. I think that it can't possibly hurt to have your email address right there. Just like, boom, here it is. It can't possibly hurt. The other thing is that you put The Witcher 3, but I don't think you worked on The Witcher 3. So here's the thing. We've talked about this before on Real Talk, and it's really important that you put in redesign. Unless you did work on The Witcher 3, but I'm relatively certain that you did not work at CD Projekt. I'm pretty sure. So redesign's important, and I know for sure you didn't work on No Man's Sky. So Trine 2, the same thing. It's fine to have it here. I think that it's tasteful, but like Matt says, always call out if it's a redo and not something you worked on. Not only because it's like general courtesy and you avoid at worst plagiarism, but because if you did work on something, that's really important to convey. So let's say for a second you had Witcher 3, Trine 2, No Man's Sky, and then like something else, you know, Game X, and you worked on Game X. If you put Game X at the end, I'm going to assume it's redesigned too. And I recognize, yes, it says sound redesign here, but I didn't see it. You know? And the thing is too, if you have like this page, and I say play, where's the title? Right, Jesse? Sorry, that's Valor Wins. So it's definitely pretty important to have it in there. And again, it can't possibly hurt. Like just another layer of text, redesign. Easy. Okay. And like Matt says too, title's good, but people skip around. Make sure they can't miss it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like Chris says as well, yeah, I'd still make sure it's in the video. I had to vault over a pretty embarrassing moment once where someone thought a redesign I did was something I worked on in a studio. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So, as far as presentation, yeah, great length. I like your titles. Throw your contact info. Throw the redesign there. And I love your site. This is sick. It's great. Let's go on to material selection, yeah? So these are all redesigns. So that it can be a good start, but I suspect that if you applied to a AAA studio or a larger-ish studio with this reel, they would probably want to see more. Oh, and by the way, also presentation-wise, good start. I like this opening a lot. Like we're saying, first 5 seconds, and it's like, hey, we're doing this, you know? Super rad. Just like boom, 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 boom. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in now. I'm totally into this. It was really good. So as far as material selection, I was saying all redesigns, I like there's no music, and I think you do music, right? So good on you for not putting music in your sound design reel. Excellent. Matt says he stands by his more ambience. I was letting him take that lead, of course. So like I was saying, if you apply to some studio, it would not surprise me if they were like, yeah, cool, looks good, but have you worked on anything? Or have you done any implementation? Or etc. Like this is cool because it's gameplay redesign and it's not like a trailer. And so is No Man's Sky, I think. I think it was a gameplay shot too. I haven't played myself yet. So that's a good mix of doing in-game stuff, like doing like a concept of what the in-game content could sound like. But I think you could probably, I mean, this is a great start. It's a really good start. And I think that if you wanted to go deeper, you could totally find Unity tutorials online or test projects like Limbo or like Cube or whatever. And I don't mind seeing the same test tutorial kind of stuff because it's there for a reason for people to learn. And like we just said to Jordan, seeing it in a reel is just an indication of that. It's an indication that you are you are keen and passionate, and you will take it upon yourself to learn these things. You don't need to be told, and it's not like you do it only because you have to, you know? So that's as far as material selection goes. And Matt's still talking about ambience. He's already done the content quality. He's onto it. I think that having like medieval kind of fantasy stuff followed by the same kind of thing, different perspective, followed by sci-fi. I think the sci-fi is probably your weakest stuff. I like the Trine the most, but I think that having a wide variety is a good call also, just to have a little more indication of versatility. See ya, Chris. Thanks so much for hanging out again, and you're very welcome for doing this. It's always a good time. I'll see you again. So we'll go into, let's jump into content quality, yeah? Just grab a quick drink. I'm gonna play this one more time. More ambience. That's pretty ambient, I don't know. It's pretty good, Matt. I think it's pretty good, man. Let's watch one more time there. Let's see. Turn my second off. Yeah, like the first two shots. The first two shots, I guess, could be more ambient. I don't know. It's pretty good though. It's... I have more of a problem with perspective on some of this stuff. That's my opinion. So back to material selection. Matt thinks that using a game as divisive as No Man's Sky is a bold choice. Yeah, I think, and Porter's got a good call too, by the way. Hey T Porter, what's up? I think that I think that sandwiching is a good idea, because you're kind of going from like one thing to something that's like kind of in the same realm of sound design, and then into something that's like completely different. So going one, like kind of sandwiching, going one, like 101 might be a little better that way. It's probably a good call. So as far as perspective goes, it's like pretty good, but there's some things that kind of caught me off guard and felt weird. In particular, the sword whooshes, they're kind of all around, like... You hear that? It's like... It sounds kind of like it's been time stretched. It's a little bit weird, but I think that those whooshes, they don't sound mono, and with whooshes like this, it sounds like you're going for what that scene sounds like. You're going for realism in these shots, with a bit of extra oomph for the stabs and stuff, of course, right? But in terms of the Foley and the movement, like that's... The whoosh, it took me out of it, to be absolutely honest. It took me like a second to be like, that whoosh sounded weird to me. It's a little bit weird. Like, it sounds like the whoosh is disconnected from his movement. Yeah, I don't know. We'll carry on. Yeah, I missed a lot of things. I'm watching it again and like pausing and stuff that, oh, I totally missed the first time. Did not hear a thing. So like Sean's saying, SF Laval in the chat. Use a brief second or two. Yeah, I feel that way too. It's pretty cool. I like the rapid fire, but you do risk people missing a lot. But maybe that's okay. What's up, Ali? Yo. And I like the final shot of the ambience just hanging out too. That's kind of nice. The Foley sounds okay. The steps are kind of weird to me. There's no change in volume for the steps, even though the perspective changed a lot. He's over there. And then he's right in front of you, but it's the same volume and same position too. Good ambience, though. Good ambience, says Matt. Alright, into Shrine. So here's the thing. with shots like this is a very this kind of choice. And the thing is, I'm assuming you didn't implement this. I'm pretty sure there's no like trying to implementation thing out there right now. Is there? I'm assuming this is a redesign. Of like just a strict like linear timeline. You're putting things on the timeline. So, here's the thing. I like that you're spatializing this gate over here. It's really cool that it sounds in the right ear only. But here's the thing. When it comes to 2D games, like side-scrollers especially, it's a bit challenging to do panorama because you got to figure out where the listener is sitting, and the listener is not going to be on the player. So for those in the chat who might be newer to implementation and such, listeners are basically the position that interprets all the sound sources in the game. And if you move the listener around, it will change the player's perspective as a result. In first-person shooters, the listener is on the head because you are the perspective, right? But in third-person games, the listener tends to be a bit further back from the player because it's more... It can be kind of uncomfortable and disorienting to have listeners on a thing that the player can see because you're listening from that perspective. It's almost like if you had headphones on and someone was like down in the street walking around with a microphone, you'd hear that same position as they're walking around. It would change in your own ears, but that's not how we experience reality, right? That's not how we experience things that we observe and witness in our day-to-day lives. So, oh, there you have your, yeah, exactly. So on Epic and in Ghost, it's like the exact same thing. So what I do, so this is like my personal approach to side-scrollers, is I think of how far the person's head is probably going to be from the screen, and I draw a triangle like that. And I decide, okay, well, in this case, my screen, for example, is a comfortable, like, arm's length away or so, right? So that means that my full screen is like this wide, which means that when I'm playing, I'll hear things on the right from like right here, and of course this is mirrored, right? So, and things from the left from right here. But the moment you move out more, that means that I'm moving my face in. Does that make sense? So if you were to like put your face right up against the screen and then hear something far right, that would make more sense because the thing is on the right side of the screen, and compared to your current perspective of face on the monitor, that is to your right. Now in this shot, if we listen to the gate, the perspective is like pretty good, but I feel like it's a bit too extreme. Like if you close your eyes here, just close your eyes for a second, and we will play this one back. So if you had headphones on, or if you had well, I suppose speakers in front of you, speakers left and right, and I asked you to point to that gate, where would it be pointing to? Like I guarantee you're not pointing in front of you to the right a bit. You're pointing kind of over there, right? Like in my current perspective, if I listen to that, this flame as well, if you listen to that flame, it's steady and it's over there. Or I guess for your perspective, it's over there. It's way, way far right. Right? So all this stuff sounds awesome. Like the sound design's really tight. I like it a lot. And it's really convincing. But the things that we're hearing are like really wide. So if you were just to bring those things in, Mauricio, and keep the ambience wide, like ambience and music, that's the beauty of these kind of side scrollers, is that once things fall off the side of the screen, they tend to be rolled off, and you don't hear them after a little while, right? You hear them a bit maybe off the side of the screen, but not much. And then, but the thing is, at all times, you have ambience bookending the whole mix at far left and right, and music as well, probably, with all the sound effects kind of occupying the center, like 60% of your soundscape. Okay, so Tom says, I always assumed the audio was designed for use of speakers. This is for Hearthstone, I guess. Hearthstone. Because when you have speakers right next to your screen, hard pan audio makes sense. Next to your screen. Interesting. I haven't listened to Hearthstone that much. Maybe I should. Okay, into No Man's Sky. Let's do this. Matt says, safer, I think, to... first, Barney, do that a ton on TV sound. When you have headphones on, it's totally weird. Safer, I think, to assume the headphones and crappy laptop speakers for everything, even reels. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I think that it's easy to say this is not your strongest part of the reel. Trying, I think, is the strongest. But I'll admit the first time, I didn't know what that sound was. But I did see the second time through that it's the shield being hit. And it felt kind of... like, the thing is, I have not played No Man's Sky. I've only watched a bit of it. I haven't seen any space combat in the game yet, so I'm not sure what it sounds like. But I've heard it sounds good? I don't know. So similarly, I feel like this pew 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 sound that is this laser feels pretty right to me. Or sorry, pretty left rather. And it feels like the other lasers feel like you're kind of hearing them from inside the ship. And this one doesn't sound like that so much. It feels like the perspective's kind of weird. It sounds like a pew pew laser sound, and doesn't really sound to me like it's coming from the ship. But I don't know, my opinion. Yeah, Matt says both laser sounds sound more like a 2D game to me, not 3D. I'm inclined to agree, yeah. Oh, you panned the laser too. I didn't hear that the first time. You totally moved it as it went past. So is that laser like one you're shooting, or is it one that's shooting at you? I'm not even sure. Okay, so the sound was the attacking one. So right now in the chat, people are not clear what's happening. So everyone's like, I think this is what's happening. Everyone's like offering up their ideas, right? And by the way, hey Brett, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Brett says, instead of saying left or right, you say minus 40 degrees or positive 40 degrees. Yeah, so in this case, I totally didn't know what was happening. So maybe that's my fault. Maybe it's... Because like the... Okay, so this pew 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 is not you shooting, it's like it's flying past you? Ah, okay. Yeah, I did not get that at all, man. I'm sorry. Is this like middle laser in sync? What's happening here? Is that late? Or is this just me? That bam 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 bam. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like it's a weird shot because it's not obvious what's happening, and I feel like I like the concept of a sci-fi, like 3D redesign, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure what to say about this. I think that having something clearer. You're listening here, it feels out of sync. I don't know. It might be even due to my own system. It's very possible. Just due to like the the cabling to get back out into the stream again. It's not ideal, believe me. It's going through two ADs, sadly. I could watch on my laptop also and see that'd be a little better. I'd be curious actually for my own purposes. But anyways, I think that having a scene that is more obvious of what's happening might be a better choice in general, because right now I'm watching it and I don't know what's happening, so it's hard for me to adjudicate if what I'm hearing is accurate to what I'm seeing. Does that make sense? And maybe that's just my own ignorance of this game and such, but I mean, I am a human who has not played No Man's Sky, and certainly I'm not the only one, you know. So it's tricky. I'm not entirely sure how to deal with this one. That might be like entirely preferential too. That might just be me. But I guess that's why you're here, right? For my opinion. I don't know, Matt. I'd be curious to hear what you think, man. Because yeah, like Matt says, it might not be able to make it clear regardless of what you do with the sound. So, and like it says there, if it's hard to understand, people will be taken out. They'll be taken out of just listening to your stuff. So that's not ideal either, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, that's all fine, man. I mean, overall, this is really strong. Your first two shots are really strong too. I think that you could make your sci-fi stuff a bit clearer, and then it'd be solid, you know? Okay, so Matt says, having played No Man's Sky, I was still a bit confused. And Sean says, it's the same as it's on the stream. Okay, well, there you go. Okay, well that's that, guys. I'm going to jump into some Viking Squad with Joey pretty soon here. And I will just find him. I'll put some freaking life form back on. Thank you very much, Mauricio. And by the way, before